in the Woods. New season June 7th on the Weather Channel.
Well, in Mesa, Texas. Yeah, you saw this tornado spin up this afternoon. Check it out. Mark Hughes recorded it. You can see it there in the background, kicking up all the dust. We've got the threat for more severe weather tonight, and tornadoes, they're possible too.
They are, but that's not all. Areas already saturated by days and days of rain have a serious flood threat that they still need to deal with. Look at the rain that pounded Lubbock, Texas earlier today. We're covering it all for you tonight in this extended edition here of Weather Center Live. 23 people have been killed by storms and flooding in Texas and Oklahoma since the weekend. Unfortunately, others are still missing. Alex?
Unfortunately, no doubt. In southwest of Houston, the mayor of Wharton, Texas, has issued a voluntary evacuation as the flooding threat intensifies in some areas. Already, mud lines the tile in many homes, a sign that floodwaters already made it inside and has caused costly damage. This is the fourth time this area has actually flooded since 1998. The mayor hoping people will grab whatever they can and leave before it's too late. We're going to talk more about the rain that's still to come in just a few minutes. But first, severe weather update now from the lab. We got storm specialist Mike Bettis. Mike?
All right, thank you very much, Alex. So we've got a lot of action for you this evening. In fact, the month of May has brought us a ton of severe weather. It has really been a slow year up until May. And as the tornadoes we had just in May across 15 different states, 274 tornadoes. And we still have a couple of days left in, and so far this year is certainly living up to that. A couple of severe thunderstorm watches and tornado watches out there this evening. Our tornado watch goes until the top of the hour here for West Texas. That does include in and around the San Angelo area. Haven't seen a lot of tornado warnings in the last hour or so, but a lot of lightning, a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings, and a lot of flooding accompanying many of these storms. Take you down into San Angelo. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for you. Arion, Sterling, and Tom Green counties right now are under a severe thunderstorm warning. So if you live around, say, San Angelo or maybe Grape Creek, a heads up on some strong winds here, some flooding rain, and the possibility of quarter size or larger hail. Big squall line coming through Wichita Falls, maybe on its way toward the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Severe thunderstorm warnings all along that line. Heavy rain has affected us from Wichita Falls up toward Lawton, and severe thunderstorm warning for Clay, Cotton, and Jefferson counties. That'll include in and around Wichita Falls and then points eastbound there. Henrietta, you are in that as well. Lawton, rain's been all around us, and we still have a severe thunderstorm warning, and we do have the flash flood warning, by the way, in Lawton here in Comanche County. Look at that big bullseye of rain that came right over Lawton. A little bit more than 2.5 inches of rain. Most of that falling in the course of about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Take you back toward Lubbock. Boy, those storms just completely dissipated, and they went south of town, so you're in much better shape. Storms dying down here from Dalhart toward Guyman here, and then storms now going past Scott City over toward Hayes, but in its wake still flash flooding here at Finney, Kearney, and Scott counties. A little bit farther north around North Platte, by the way, we have a severe thunderstorm warning for you. That severe thunderstorm warning includes the Lincoln County, so in around North Platte and around Hershey we'll have some problems. Around South Dakota, storms all over the place here, not in Pierre, by the way, and then Fargo up through Minnesota. We have some stronger storms here extending from around Fergus Falls up through Bemidji, so plenty going on here across the middle of the country, that's for sure. There's your area of severe weather that we're anticipating for the remainder of the evening. Torcon of 3 for you this evening. That includes eastern Colorado, western Kansas, and western Oklahoma, and then down through West Texas as well. We have an opportunity for some more storms tomorrow. They'll extend from Texas, then all the way up into the Midwest, but a large area, by the way, Keith and Alex, of general thunderstorms that extends from the Jersey Shore all the way to the West Coast.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bettis. Chaos in this Wimberley, Texas home as rising Blanco River rushed inside their house.
Man, incredible. The woman who recorded the video, Sarah Perez, had to rush to the second floor of the home as that water continued to rise. I mean, I can't even imagine a scary situation. First of all, you see the water outside of your window,
right,
and it's rushing by, and then all of a sudden it crashes through, and now the water's pouring in.
And of course, it has to be night, right? That makes everything scarier to begin with. But the nighttime, and we talked to this couple earlier, and I asked them if they had an escape route from their vantage in the second floor, and they said they really didn't, which makes it even scarier. Exactly. Luckily, the water stopped rising at that point. But you know, we see a lot of video every day, and the internet sees a lot of video, cat videos, whatever. This went viral pretty quickly because of just the raw pressure of that water bursting through.
Yeah, it's definitely up there with the top videos for sure. And
yeah,
a scary situation to be in. 4-year-old daughter they had. Amazingly, the daughter didn't wake up through the whole ordeal.
There's a reason they say slept like a baby, right? Take a look at what led to this. The river at 10 p.m. was at 5.8 feet, well below minor flood stage. Look at 1 a.m., 40 feet high.
Yeah, we're talking about a rise here of almost 34.5 feet in just a matter of a couple of hours. And you get that kind of water rise, the result is that video.
And it's not over. We have kind of the same pattern here. Now, the juiciest was Monday and Tuesday. That's the good news. Bad news is we're waiting until probably Sunday to really clear things out here.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's the wet weather showing up right now on the radar. A big line of storms stretching pretty much from the Red River down just south and west of San Angelo. All along that line, severe warnings. And again, not the most quick progression, so we do have some flash flood warnings in there as well.
Yeah, pretty much if you're near Texas tonight, you're probably getting hit because this thing goes all the way down to the Mexican border. So we'll be watching that. And you talked about flooding. Flash flood watches, these have been hoisted most of the week. They knock them down for a short period of time, put them back up. We're just too saturated.
Yeah, you know, you've got those grounds just inundated with water over the last, seems like several weeks.
Right.
You add more flash flooding is something that results.
But you're the more friendly of the two of us. Give them the good news.
The good news is the threat for the wet weather is really going to start to taper off a bit here as we get more of a ridging scenario taking place here for us. So that's really going to allow us to see some at least drier times through the southern plains and Texas, at least for a couple of days.
See, isn't he so much more jovial when he does it? All right, let's get on the ground. And one spot that saw severe flooding, which is Wimberley, Texas. That's where NBC's Gabe Gutierrez reports for us tonight.
We are here along the banks of the Blanco River, and this is one of the homes that was destroyed. You can see the power of the water. And now the families of the missing are saying their search is far from over.
Oh no!
It was unstoppable. The wall of water bursting through the door, gushing into a living room, upending furniture, rising in seconds. While incredibly, a terrified woman keeps recording with her cell phone.
We could actually see what looked like barges going down the river, and it was people's homes.
Chuck Criswell lives in another home along the Blanco River.
It looked like the water was going 500 miles an hour with debris just flying by.
Today, throughout Texas, wild weather. Near Houston, a family had to be rescued by boat.
I've never seen it like this.
In nearby Wharton, Texas, hundreds of residents evacuated, fearing more storms through the weekend.
The water gets high as my light switch in my home. So when they say flood, I know to go.
So much rain has drenched Texas over the past month that it would be enough to flood all of Rhode Island under 10 feet of water. It's taking a toll in tight-knit Devine, Texas, where the family of 18-year-old Alyssa Ramirez just held her funeral. The homecoming queen, volleyball star, and cheerleader was on her way back from prom when her car was swept away.
I got a phone call from her at 2:45 in the morning when I'm asleep. And she wakes me up, and I say, honey, what's going on? She said, Dad, what do I do? My car's been hit with water. What do I do? I said, well, back the car up. She goes, I can't, Dad, the car's tipping. And I said, I'm on my way. And that's the last I got to speak to her.
Sadly, there is so much devastation across parts of Texas, and authorities here in Hays County say that they have recovered the body of a young child, but that it has not yet been identified. More rain is expected to slow the search effort here through the weekend. For the Weather Channel, I'm Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News, Wimberley, Texas.
All right, tough story there, obviously. Well, from way too much water to a welcome dose of some snow.
Yeah, and you know, this isn't only video. These flakes, they flew today. I'm just going to tell you where it was to ignore that thing that's in the top left of your screen.
It's not in Texas. Let's show you a nice sunset in Philadelphia. It's always sunny in Philadelphia, you know?
Not a bad show.
It's a great show.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 74. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, scattered thunderstorms in the morning, then partly cloudy in the afternoon. High 85. Chance of rain 40%. Friday night, A few clouds from time to time. Low 75. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tires she's riding on will. With the revolutionary Michelin Premier tire, even as it wears down over time, its safety doesn't. The Michelin Premier tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
Hey, America. Still not sure whether to stay or go to your people?
Should I stay or should I go?
Well, this summer, stay with Choice Hotels twice and get a $50 gift card you can use for just about anything.
Go.
You always have a choice. Book now at choicehotels.com.
Making a fist. Something we do to show resolve, to defend ourselves, to declare victory.
That's how you do it.
So CVS Health provides expert support and vital medicine
Make a fist for me.
at our infusion centers or in patients' homes. We help them fight the good fight. CVS Health, because health is everything.
Nice job, guys. And don't worry, this beauty will last and last because I'm the only paint primer in one with Easy Wash formula, which you may find pretty handy someday.
Olympic One paint with exclusive Easy Wash formula stands up to 1,500 scrubs. Olympic, simply done. Exclusively at Lowe's. Stop by Lowe's and save $5 per gallon on Olympic's best paints and stains. Just another way Olympic makes it easy every step of the way.
No artificial flavors, colors, sweeteners, preservatives, and no artificial smiles. Because clean dressings taste better.
New Flonase Allergy Relief Nasal Spray. This changes everything. Flonase is the 24-hour relief that outperforms a leading allergy pill. When we breathe in allergens, our bodies react by overproducing 6 key inflammatory substances that cause our symptoms. Most allergy pills only control one substance. Flonase controls 6, and 6 is greater than 1. So go ahead, inhale life, excite your senses, seize the day and the night. New Flonase. 6 is greater than 1. This changes everything.
Walmart's low prices every day, it's not just about having more savings, it's about having more fun. Great get-togethers start with low prices you can trust every day.
Subito.
The all-new Fiat 500X crossover. Ooh. Bigger, more powerful, and ready for action.
So you ready for the night? And don't it feel nice?
Summer never looks so good. Bud Light Lime. Same 100% natural lime flavor in a new bottle. Summer on.
Sometimes the best way to see the full extent of a weather event's aftermath is to look at it from above. The Oklahoma National Guard flew over feet of water, still where it does not belong today, and you can see the homes still submerged. Meanwhile, on the ground, it can be a much different story.
And now that the water is receding, the recovery process, that's underway for some. And with 9 people still missing, well, the hope that survivors will be found is echoing through communities. Here's NBC's Jay Gray.
Hey there, good evening. Sunny and bright right now, but there has been more rain here today. At times it was pretty heavy, making it even more difficult, if that's possible, for the search and recovery teams working through debris like you see all around us here. It stretches for miles along the Blanco River on a day when the families of all those they're searching for talked about their resolve to make sure their loved ones are found.
Panic as a wall of water burst through the door of a home along the Blanco River. This home video shows the horror. While today the words of family members of the missing share the heartache.
It's impossible to express in words the tremendous loss, pain, and fear we are feeling.
Still, working alongside rescue and recovery teams on the ground, they refuse to give in.
We are 100% committed to finding Laura, Andrew, Leighton, Randy, Will, Ralph, and Sue.
The search is over for the Ramirez family.
God had his arms around her and brought her to glory.
18-year-old Alyssa Ramirez was laid to rest yesterday. A homecoming queen, star athlete, and student council president. Alyssa was driving home from prom last weekend when she called her dad as her car was being swept away in the floodwaters.
It was a horrible conversation. It's a conversation I'll never forget.
The emotions, like so much here, are raw. Battered communities pulling together where they can, while in other places like Wharton, southwest of Houston, families are pulling out, moving to higher ground. Voluntary evacuations in place with the growing threat of more rain and flash flooding here.
And unfortunately, as you guys have discussed, the chance for rain and more severe weather in many areas across Texas will continue through this weekend. That is the latest here in Wimberley, Texas. I'm Jay Gray. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Jay. Now from flooding to snow. Yeah, snowing. This is in the higher elevations near Aspen, Colorado. No blizzard conditions in ski country, though. Gunnison County, just south of Aspen, reporting a ½ an inch within the last 24 hours. So, yeah, still here for us as we're getting close to June, having to deal with a bit of snow in the higher terrain. All right, now as we head through the coming days, the focus is certainly going to be on more of that rain and the threat for strong storms. This is tomorrow for us. Good chunk of Texas through the plains and working now even into the western lakes. That's going to be a pretty large area where we have that risk for severe storms, and then general thunderstorms surrounding that off to the east, heading across the Ohio River Valley. The New England states, though, look pretty good. Boston, you'll be right around 71 degrees. Good bit of sunshine. Now by Saturday, we'll watch things continue to progress east a bit now into the interior northeast. You'll have that risk for some rain showers and storms. Still ongoing here across Texas, but drying out Kansas and most of Oklahoma now. A lot of the activity by Saturday should be pressing south of Oklahoma City. And then on Sunday, most of Oklahoma now pretty much out of the threat for the storms. But it's not the case in the deep south. We've got mid to upper 80s for highs, and it's going to be muggy, and that threat for storms to fire up out there. We'll see that also move into the northeast as well for the end of the week. And then on Monday, as many of us return to work, the Pacific Northwest, we've got some showers to deal with moving into parts of Montana as well. Notice the middle of the country generally quiet. A few spotty showers, maybe a storm or two here for Monday here in the plains. But Tuesday, we're dry here across Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska. It's North Dakota and northern Minnesota dealing with the rain. And then deep south, we're going to keep that threat going for next week. Even into Wednesday, more storms to deal with from Birmingham up to Nashville, the Louisville area as well. But look in the northeast. All is quiet, all is fair. And temperature-wise, 60s and 70s, pretty comfortable. Thursday will roll around. Those temperatures will warm up, and we start to increase our chances for rain right here in the heartland. And not quite reaching you in places like Oklahoma City and Dallas, or Dallas for you. Expect upper 80s, but should be a dry day. Keith?
All right, thanks, Alex. We continue to track the path of that severe weather traveling across the plains of the Midwest. When we return, the latest forecast for flash flooding and where it could raise to dangerous levels.
At the Barrett-Jackson Auto Auction, cars like these can go for a cool $1 million easy. How? It starts with the details, and nobody does details like new Barrett-Jackson Premium Auto Care. Liquid wax, formulated for a Barrett-Jackson quality finish with advanced polymer technology for unbeatable protection and a residue-free shine, making your car look like a cool $1 million by the people who know cars that look like a cool $1 million. Try new Barrett-Jackson Liquid Car Wax and Barrett-Jackson Premium Auto Care products available at these fine retailers.
This Sunday.
Run like an eagle!
Look at that! 3
Three Scientists Walk Into a Bar is a show where we explain the weather by doing simple experiments. I lit my hand on fire and also explosions.
Join us for a 3-episode sneak peek of Three Scientists Walk Into a Bar this Sunday at 7 on the Weather Channel.
Fat Guys in the Woods, new season June 7th on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 74. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, scattered thunderstorms in the morning, then partly cloudy in the afternoon. High 85. Chance of rain 40%. Friday night, a few clouds from time to time. Low 75. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Heartburn.
No one burns on my watch. Try Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. They work fast and don't taste chalky.
Amazing. I have heartburn.
Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. Enjoy the relief.
Did you know only 1% of supplements have earned the USP mark, an independent certification for quality and purity? I recommend Nature Made because they've earned the most of any brand.
Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended letter vitamin brand.
I typed my name, and Ancestry opened the door to the world's largest online collection of family history records. Discover your story today at Ancestry.com.
Lowe's presents how to install a new washing machine with one finger.
Maybe a little more that way. Nice.
Now get 10 to 30% off select major appliances, $396 and more at Lowe's.
In the summertime, when the weather is fine, you can stretch right up and touch the sky. When it's vacation time, you got MSC Cruises on your mind. Have a drink, relax, you're gonna have a good time. Sail along with us at MSC, see a fabulous show and be happy.
Cruise the world with MSC Cruises. Call your travel agent or visit msccruises.com.
Xfinity sales professionals are always on the go, meeting new people every day. They're helping families get the latest Xfinity products and services. And they're making customers happy. Jumpstart your career with the best sales training in the industry. Great benefits like discounts on your own Xfinity services and the potential for high earnings. Have what it takes? Apply today and see what doors open for you.
Replacing old drain lines used to mean tearing up floors and walls and digging a huge trench in your house, but not anymore. Now there's trenchless drain line repair. Our trenchless pipelining method creates a new permanent pipe inside the existing pipe. A liner saturated with epoxy is inserted into the pipe. A bladder is inflated until the epoxy hardens to form a new pipe inside the old pipe. It's removed and the pipe is ready for use, better than new. Need a drain line repair? Go trenchless. Call Quick Plumbers today.
Owns.com.
Fat Guys in the Woods, new season June 7th on the Weather Channel.
I think we're getting baseball size. They're pretty big and loud.
Now that is impressive hail. Yeah, it came down in southwestern Nebraska today, and you can see it clunking down. Almost looks like someone took ice cubes from out of the freezer and just started throwing them. Incredible scene there. Well, we want to get an update on some of these storms that we're firing up across Texas and the rest of the Plain States. So send it to the lab now with Mike.
All right, guys, thank you very much. It is about 5 minutes till the top of the hour. I want to take you back to Tuesday. Did you see this incredible security cam footage from Beaver Creek, Ohio, where this EF1 tornado, you see it? It's right there. Isn't that crazy? Comes right through a parking lot, hits a Waffle House, a Mexican restaurant, goes into a neighborhood, and it was only on the ground for less than a minute. But basically, the entire tornado caught right there on security cam. Now, if you thought that was cool, check this out. I want you to focus right here on these vehicles, okay? Tornado comes in, camera moves all around, and next thing you know, check it out. Whoa! Holy cow! Look at that. A giant roof air conditioner comes flying off the roof. These things probably weigh, I'll bet you, 500 pounds apiece, and you've got to assume, oh man, look at that. You got to assume that that thing was bolted down too, landed right on the roof of that car. And one more time, let's watch it again. There's all the debris that goes flying, trees, and then boom, right there. Boy. Good thing no one was in that car, huh? That just shows you kind of the power of tornadoes, and best thing you can do is be inside and do not be out and exposed to these kind of elements. All right, let's show you where the area of concern is this evening. It does include portions of New Mexico and Texas. That's where we have our tornado watch this evening. Goes for a couple of more minutes, and then we've got severe thunderstorm watches across portions of Texas, Oklahoma, and then back through Kansas as well. So if you're not going to see tornadoes, and we think that that threat is diminishing somewhat as the lines now begin to squall out. We do have a flash flood threat. We do have a hail threat. We do have a wind threat. Look at all the lightning embedded with a lot of these storms too. Each and every one of them has strong lightning signatures with them. So that is also that, you know, immediate and hidden danger that we always think of when we think about these thunderstorms. St. Angelo, severe thunderstorm warning for us, including multiple counties here. Tom Green County is included in this. So Grape Creek over toward Mertzon here, as well as St. Angelo. Heads up on what's going to be a pretty strong storm coming through for you. Likely to see at least quarter-size hail with that storm. Look at this big squall line here from Wichita Falls back down along I-20 and then east of Abilene. That's going to produce some pretty gusty winds here. We got that backwards C shape here. So usually what that means is winds are gusting out ahead of the storm system there, and now making its way closer and closer to Fort Worth, by the way. And the county just to our west is underneath a severe thunderstorm warning. Jack, Parker, and Wise County, severe thunderstorm warning for you. And I think wind is going to be one of your biggest threats here, in addition to the heavy rain. And we don't need any more rain. We were all setting records all across Texas for rainfall. In Fort Worth, we had flash flood warnings yesterday. We don't need that again. Lawton, we still have the flash flood warnings for us. Comanche County, that warning goes until 10:15. We've seen streets that have been inundated around Lincoln and Smith and Sheridan. We had high water there. It's beginning to recede, but nonetheless, we still have issues. Farther north now into Kansas, between Dodge City and Hays, we have some pretty strong storms here. All the severe thunderstorm warnings have expired, but right along I-70 is blinding rain for you right now in Hays. So as you step out for dinner, be prepared for the heavy rain. North Platte, just north of the city, Lincoln, Logan, and McPherson counties right now are under severe thunderstorm warnings for larger hail. Bigger picture through the Dakotas up through Minnesota. We've got some larger storms here. Then back down, last but not least, Alabama. Heavy rain's been sitting on us in Montgomery for a couple hours here, guys. So there may be some concerns for some brief flooding here in Alabama.
All right, thank you, Mike. Let's take you into the Northeast, where we have New York, Boston, Philly, Washington, D.C. By the way, Boston, we talked about Neil Diamond in Dallas. How about Salt and Pepper, the House of Blues on Lansdowne tonight? It's a throwback. All right, let's talk about what's going on, because the Northeast has been warm, getting into the 90s in some spots over the past couple of days. We're going to be cooling down, though, eventually. It doesn't last long. Right now, 77 in Boston, 80 in New York, 79 in Philly. Had some stronger storms move through, but things relatively quiet now. Dew points hugging in the 60s right along the coast. Some cooler, though, drier air behind it, at least briefly. The dew points were really creeping on up there. We'll see the bigger change, though, as we head into Sunday and Monday. We'll get a real cold front to come through. Highs 10 to 20 degrees below average, driving eventually into the northeast, taking a little bit of a strange path to get in there, but you'll feel it Monday and Tuesday. Much cooler air. Before that, though, 82 in Boston on Saturday, 83 in New York City. As we head into Sunday, this is a sea breeze in Boston, cooling them down. Bangor coming, and then eventually much cooler on Monday, a high of 58, much cooler than we've seen, around 90. We'll be right back.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 74. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, scattered thunderstorms in the morning, then partly cloudy in the afternoon. High 85. Chance of rain 40%. Friday night, a few clouds from time to time. Low 75. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Treacherous drowning conditions in Lubbock and much of Texas. At this hour, the ground already oversaturated with water, primed for flash flooding, and the steady flow of rain and storms, unfortunately, not letting up. Thanks for joining us. We're in extended coverage until midnight Eastern. I'm Keith Carson.
And I'm Alex Wallace. Now, we've got the flood threat to talk about, plus more severe storms that could produce tornadoes, all in the same state, still recovering from Monday's disastrous and deadly flooding. Well, let's update the very latest on the deadly storms that struck Oklahoma as well as Texas. The death toll now standing at 23 lives lost in those two states. 9 people are still missing. And overnight, the body of a child was found near the banks of the Blanco River, and he has not yet been identified. Keith?
All right, thanks. We'll talk more about the potential increased flooding in just a few minutes. First, though, we want to get an update on the severe weather that's firing up. For that, let's go to the lab. Meteorologist Mike Bettis wearing a similar but not awkwardly so combo to mine. Mike?
Thank you very much, Keith. I like the tight pattern. All right, let's talk about what's happening for you right now. By the way, we have a brand new severe thunderstorm watch across Texas. So the tornado watch that was in effect across West Texas no longer. We have a brand new severe thunderstorm watch downstream of that. This one goes till 2 o'clock in the morning. Our primary threats, I think, are going to end up being wind with a lot of these storms as they begin to gust out and form more of a squall line. Our severe thunderstorm warnings do continue, by the way, thunderstorm watches, I should say, continue for Dallas, Fort Worth, and then portions of western Kansas as well. There's a look at the big picture, big squall lines here. They'll produce heavy rain. And man, boy, rain is the last thing we need to see in Texas, with so many cities here setting May records for rainfall for a month. There is a look at the lightning embedded in all these storms from around, say, Lawton and Wichita Falls down through Abilene and down towards St. Angelo as well. Numerous severe thunderstorm warnings out there, as well as flash flood warnings. Concho, Schuyler, as well as Tom Green counties right now. Concho County is under severe thunderstorm warnings. I'll move that just a little bit to the east here so you can get an update on the other ones. Coleman and Runnels County also under severe thunderstorm warnings. Again, mostly a wind threat with these storms, but some of them will produce maybe as high as quarter-size hail. Look at a big squall line here now right across the Red River Valley. That storm is right on I-20, by the way. This is east of Abilene, so heavy rain here, the possibility of some flooding rain. Here's a look at the severe thunderstorm warnings. Jack Parker in Wise County now beginning to approach the Fort Worth area. This is a warning that goes until 8:15. Mineral Wells, you're including that. Weatherford as well. We'll time this out and take it over toward Fort Worth. The timing for you is going to end up being right around 9:45 local time. So you get about 45 minutes before that storm is on you. We had flash flood warnings yesterday. These storms are moving a lot faster than yesterday's storm, so it's not a slam dunk. You won't get flooding, but it bodes well that at least the storms are on the move, moving about 30 miles an hour. A little bit farther north into Kansas now, between Dodge City and Hill City and around Hays, Kansas. You have some heavy rain that's falling for you right now, so if you're having dinner this evening at Gella's in Hays, you might be stuck in there for a little bit until that rain clears, so enjoy the dessert. All right, North Platte, you've got some thunderstorms overhead. No more severe thunderstorm warnings, and those storms extend up north of Broken Bow. Bigger picture across the Dakotas in Minnesota. Really storms extending all the way up into Canada, so big reach with all these storms and a few thunderstorm warnings within those generally rural areas. The threat for us tonight extends from, say, Goodland, Kansas, back down through Midland, down toward Abilene, the same places that we're seeing the storms right now, and those do get in to Dallas, Fort Worth. If we do see a tornado threat for the remainder of the night, ends up being eastern Colorado, western Kansas, maybe brief spin-ups in those squall lines there in West Texas. Otherwise, I think the threat for tornadoes now is relatively low. We extend our forecast tomorrow, not just in the plains where we've been hit by storms for the past week, but all the way up now into the Midwest. So a place like Chicago, Milwaukee, or Detroit heads up on storms that could be coming your way. And if you're traveling along, say, I-94 or I-80, here come your storms. But when I look at the big picture here, the red area, the strongest of storms, the orange area, generally what we'd call more or less summertime thunderstorms. That extends from the Jersey Shore, Alex and Keith, all the way to Lake Tahoe. How about that for some coverage, huh?
All right, it is. That is a large area we're watching. Let's take you to Dallas-Fort Worth. And we just had an extensive conversation of Neil Diamond's greatest hits because we were talking about Fort Worth, we're talking about Dallas. There's a concert there, Neil Diamond. Wallace, I'm giving you one more chance. Neil Diamond song you like.
I found it. Sweet Caroline.
Oh, right down the middle. He takes the easiest one. All right, let's talk about the flood threat. Dallas-Fort Worth, by the way, going to get hit probably with this line later on tonight. With any luck, it will continue to fizzle as it has been doing a little bit here on the radar. But flooding is still the biggest problem, so it's a little bit harder to predict that. We know there's a saturated soil for sure. Take a look at this stat. Relentless rain in Dallas. So far this year, 27 inches of rain. All of 2014, they had about 21.3. So that just goes to show, especially May, how wet it's been. All right, here's Dallas here. Here's that line. They do have a severe thunderstorm watch still off, or warning, I should say, still off to their west. And it did fizzle for a brief period, but you know what? Looking at the radar right now, it pulsed back up. So it's going to be a pretty good shot of a storm coming through. Straight line winds. It's got that classic backward C look to it, which means it's a straight line wind, bow echo situation. This entire line, all the way down to Texas, basically, if you live in central and eastern Texas, at some point tonight, you're going to get this line of thunderstorms because it's blanketing the entire state into southern parts of Oklahoma as well. And the National Weather Service has done two things. One, they have severe thunderstorm warnings, and then look at behind it in the green boxes. Those are your flash flood warnings. So they're warning for the front end of the storm and then the flooding concerns on the back end because the ground is so saturated. Take a look at this. Your flash flood watches across much of Texas, almost all of Oklahoma, and flood warnings still in through Fort Smith, Arkansas. So we still have some areas that we're watching very closely because it just takes a little bit of rain with this kind of saturation to cause some problems. So tomorrow, not a whole lot of change here. Basically, we looked at this week and said Monday through Friday, we have a similar weather pattern. And then things change a little bit. Saturday, we start to get this front system moving off to the east. And then Sunday, we should see some real improvement, noticeable improvement in places like Dallas, North Texas, and almost all of Oklahoma. And then we do shift into a much better pattern. We get a ridge into the middle part of the country, and it quiets down for a while. So you're going to get through Saturday or Sunday here. Rain through Sunday, we're looking at 1 to 2 inches. Some spots, though, could see more than that. But there is light at the end of the tunnel in the form of Monday and Tuesday. Not only dry, but nice. Alex?
Yeah, it is looking really good. All right, well, proof now of just how powerful flash flooding can be. Flooding in this Saginaw, Texas neighborhood, taking one of those heavy and, well, usually sand-filled basketball hoops right down the street. Look at that. Amazing that it's made upright. Wow. All right. Well, now to absolutely incredible video into us. This coming in from now Maine. Now, if you're away from the TV, this is one that you'll want to see.
Yeah. I got that. 6, the grand down this, but the church has got hit again.
Yep. Keith Carson showed me this video a little bit earlier, and my reaction was filled with a lot of bleeps as well. It was Twitter user Carl Booley that posted this amazing video showing just how powerful and sudden nature's energy can be in just a split second. Wow, you can tell that the church steeple was slightly damaged by that lightning strike. Incredible stuff. All right, well, as we've been telling you, the threat for more flooding, that is lingering tonight. We're going to give you the very latest.
Are you up for whatever? Don't answer. Grab a Bud Light and show it. Try new things. Make new friends. Explore new places. Find the fun around every corner. Better yet, be the fun. Laugh, dance, spin, jump. Make a single weekend last a lifetime and keep it going with a crisp, refreshing Bud Light. The perfect beer for whatever happens.
This allergy season, will you be a sound sleeper or a mouth breather? Well, put on a Breathe Right strip and instantly open your nose up to 38% more than allergy medicines alone, so you can breathe and sleep. Shut your mouth and sleep right. Breathe Right.
Make the cash call and ask for the do-over refi. If you refinanced your mortgage in the last 18 months, we can redo it at a lower rate, like today's 2.875% rate and APR with no closing costs. Just call 855-890-CASH.
Go! This Sunday.
Run like an eagle!
Look at that! Three Scientists Walk Into a Bar is a show where we explain the weather by doing simple experiments. I lit my hand on fire and also explosions.
Join us for a 3-episode sneak peek of 3 scientists walk into a bar this Sunday at 7 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 74. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, scattered thunderstorms in the morning, then partly cloudy in the afternoon. High 85. Chance of rain 40%. Friday night, a few clouds from time to time, low 75. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Fat Guys in the Woods, new season June 7th on the Weather Channel.
Subito.
The all-new Fiat 500X crossover. Ooh. Bigger, more powerful, and ready for action.
Beautiful job. I knew you had it in you, and it was easy because of what I have in me. You know, the color-rich technology and all-climate protection package. It penetrates deep for long-lasting protection and beauty. And I'm the only one who's got it.
Olympic Elite, for exceptional beauty and protection that lasts. Olympic, simply done. Exclusively at Lowe's. Stop by Lowe's and save $5 per gallon on Olympic's best paints and stains. Just another way Olympic makes it easy every step of the way.
Walmart's low prices every day. It's not just about having more savings. It's about having more fun. Great get-togethers start with low prices you can trust every day.
Well, these homes are now waterfront property, whether the owners wanted it or not. This is in Louisville, Texas, and you can see that lake now up to the edges of the property, creeping up to the doors of some of these homes. I understand that the lake shore is actually generally about 100 yards away from these homes, so you can see how quickly that water rose, or how much that water rose, and is now very, very close to some of those homes. Wow, serious situation. And that's sort of the scene we've seen a lot here across parts of the Southern Plains and down into Texas. Just been days and days of dealing with these storms, and they've dumped quite a bit of rain. And guess what? Here we go again with more rain showers and storms. We got a long line of storms here across the state here. Right along that, several severe thunderstorm warnings and also flash flood warnings as well. Let's get you down, and there's the Fort Worth, Dallas area, and again, that line getting very, very close. Main threat here, as you can see, Jack, Parker, and Wise counties underneath a severe thunderstorm warning, going to be damaging wind. This whole line marching its way on off towards the east. Before long, it will hit that 35 corridor. You can see the cities and the timing of that. Decatur around 8:22, Gainesville 8:51, and then just around 10 o'clock, Dallas, you may be in line to deal with some of those storms, and then 10:01 right around the Plano area. So nasty line of storms, and then behind all that, as that rain is left behind, again, very, very saturated grounds. Flash flood warnings in place. We saw scenes around Lawton where cars are rolling through some very, very deep waters. It's one of those situations. Please turn around, find another route to take. You can see radar estimated totals here getting up over 3 inches. Flash flood emergency for the town of Lawton. Keith?
All right, speaking of flooding, let's go now to Lubbock County, Texas, where we have Clinton Tetford, who is an emergency management coordinator. And Clinton, can you tell us a little bit about what you saw earlier as you got hit with some heavy rainfall?
Yeah, just after noon today, we had a significant thunderstorm. A series of them come through Lubbock County and dropped a lot of rain. Our ground was already saturated from the last few weeks' worth of rain, and we've had some significant low areas that have flooded. We've had it all across the county. Have some roads closed at this time, but the most significant area probably was in the city of Shallowater, Texas, which is in northwest Lubbock County. They had approximately 75 homes that received up to 2 feet of water within those, and that's highly unusual for this part of the state.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Clinton, we have about a minute left here. What is the general situation there as far as the flooding that you get, how aware, prepared people are for this kind of flash flooding?
Most of the people that live here in West Texas are aware that we can get this type of flash flooding. It's kind of different than the rest of the nation, where you might are more familiar with the rivers and streams and that type of flash flooding. What we really have out here is the water will fill up the low areas all across the flat plains here, and that's where we get into trouble. It doesn't have any place to run off if it's not absorbed in the ground. So that's kind of what we're dealing with out here.
All right, thank you very much. That is Clinton Tetford, and obviously dealing with some of the same problems there in Lubbock that a lot of the south into Oklahoma is dealing with as well, just too saturated. All right, we continue to monitor a line of rain and storms that is causing that trouble in Texas and the plains ahead. We're going to get a forecast and information. We have the latest information on the most flood-prone areas like there in Lubbock and when they'll finally get some relief.
Guys, it's just the two of you. The setting is just right. But here's the thing. About half of men over 40 have some degree of erectile dysfunction. Well, Viagra helps guys with ED get and keep an erection. And you only take it when you need it.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing.
Ask your doctor about Viagra.
Need new tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you get 3 Falcon, Cooper, or Hankook tires, you get the 4th tire free instantly. Plus, get no interest and paid in full within 12 months on your Pep Boys credit card. Trust the boys to get you there.
How about over there?
What does it mean to have an unlimited mileage warranty on a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz? What does it mean to drive as far as you want for up to 3 years and be covered? It means your odometer is there to record the memories. During the Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned Sales event now through June 1st, you'll get complimentary prepaid maintenance and receive your first 2 months payments on us, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
One of the foot's favorite rituals. Yeah, they must look their best. Smooth, beautiful skin is an advantage. The others can only hide it in shame. Introducing the new Dr. Scholl's Dreamwalk Express Pedi.
All we need to sell Strongbow Hard Cider is ice. And an award for best tasting hard cider.
Have you got the shot yet?
Remember that thing about keeping your face behind the award? Strongbow.
Advanced design makes it easy to protect your dog or cat from fleas and ticks. Discover Seresto. With the performance you expect from topicals in a non-greasy collar, Seresto provides protection against fleas and ticks for 8 months. Seresto.
Fat Guys in the Woods. New season June 7th on the Weather Channel.
Go! This Sunday.
Run like an eagle! Look at that!
3 Scientists Walk Into a Bar is a show where we explain the weather by doing simple experiments. I lit my hand on fire and also explosions.
Join us for a 3-episode sneak peek of 3 Scientists Walk Into a Bar this Sunday at 7 on the Weather.
We all want that little black dress moment, that look good, feel good moment. But when you're overweight, it's more like little black dress. I don't even want to get dressed. I'm tired. My knees hurt. I'm not going up those stairs again moment. You know what I'm saying? I'm Marie, and I lost 50 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Now you can lose weight fast with Nutrisystem's Fast 5 Plus. Lose 5 pounds in your first week, plus 1 inch off your waist, or your money back guaranteed.
You'll get perfectly portioned meals that are ready in minutes. So there's no counting, no measuring, no guesswork. Simple.
Order your 28-day Nutrisystem plan right now, including Fast 5 Plus. Get 1 week of specially selected meals. Plus, you'll get 1 week of energizing shakes free and 1 week of Craving Crusher shakes free.
This is your moment. Don't wait. Start looking and feeling great today.
Call now, 855-807-THIN, and lose your first 5 pounds fast.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 74. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, scattered thunderstorms in the morning, then partly cloudy in the afternoon. High 85. Chance of rain 40%. Friday night, a few clouds from time to time. Low 75. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
A new video into us from Lawton, Oklahoma. Our affiliate KFOR had crews out and about with the storms rolling through this afternoon. And, I mean, this is exactly what not to do. I mean,
Don't
we
do
see
it.
this time and time again. And you run into trouble. In fact, already across the Lawton area, numerous water rescues taking place because of what you see.
I wonder why. I don't care if you've got a Hummer jacked up on 25s. Don't do it.
25.
I don't know, because 20s aren't big enough.
Yeah, the area actually under a flash flood emergency. This is actually the third flash flood emergency that the Norman office there in Oklahoma has issued this year. Before this year, they had issued none.
I did not know that. By the way, we're going to talk more about this flooding in a second. First, we're going to turn our attention to the tropics. Obama, on the road today, spent the day at the National Hurricane Center.
Yeah, now while he was there, he took the opportunity to discuss climate change and the role it plays in our hurricane seasons.
Climate change didn't cause Hurricane Sandy, but it might have made it stronger. The fact that the sea level in New York Harbor is about a foot higher than a century ago certainly made the storm surge worse. And that's why we are seeking to work with Congress to make sure that we are focused on resilience and the steps we can take to fortify our infrastructure in these communities.
All right, well, the president taking the time during his trip to tell Texas flooding victims that they're in his thoughts and his prayers. He said the floods are an example of why it's never too early to implement disaster preparedness measures nationwide. Mr. Wallace?
All right. Meanwhile, we've got the hurricane season upon us in the East Pacific. Already began. That was on May 15th. And in the Atlantic, it starts on June 1st, so just a couple of days away. And got some activity out there. Let's first talk about, though, the numbers here for the season. At least the hurricane season forecast. You can see average here. It's about 12 total named storms, 6 hurricanes, and then 3 Category 3 or higher. Those will be the major hurricanes. Well, NOAA issuing some of their forecast here this week, and they're saying they think maybe 6 to 11 total named, 3 to 6 hurricanes, and then 0 to 2 major. So you get the picture below the average. And the same is the case here for our official numbers here. All these numbers coming in below what would be the average. So basically expecting a slower season, but I hate to put these numbers up because basically every season you need to be prepared because it only takes one, and that could be the one. Remember the year of Andrew. All right, well, let's talk about the Atlantic, where right now all is quiet, all is fair. This is great cruising weather, that's for sure. But in the East Pacific, we've got a tropical storm. Andres, that's hanging out there. Right now, sustained winds estimated to be about 60 miles per hour and moving out to the west-northwest right around 12 miles per hour. Staying away from land, at least at this point, and generally that is the thinking here. This is official a forecast from the National Hurricane Center, tracking on off towards the north and the west. Now, expecting that we could see some strengthening here as we head towards the weekend. Look at this, getting up around 105 miles per hour, but then it should begin to weaken as it starts to pull into a little bit more cooler waters, and the environment becomes a little bit drier as well. So by next Tuesday, still away from any landmass, and good news is weakening as well. But we still got a lot of the season to go, that is for sure. And Weather Geeks, that is previewing the upcoming hurricane season this Sunday. What will El Nino do? Are we entering a hurricane drought? Plus, exploring the science behind wild weather phenomena. Can a tornado form indoors? And a mysterious South American lightning storm that can last for months. It's back-to-back episodes of Weather Geeks. That's this Sunday at noon right here on the Weather Channel. Keith?
All right, we have some new video in from Lubbock, Texas of the flooding that went on there through the afternoon hours. And you can see people, again, driving through all of the rain waters. Unfortunately, that's a scene we've seen a lot of this week. We'll be right back.
It's called Mother Nature for a reason. A nurturing spirit lives within every woman. At Mahindra, we strive to brighten the future for girls with a passion for agriculture. So thank you to the mothers and fathers of America for sharing the wonder of God's great outdoors. Today's future farmers are tomorrow's stewards of the land we care for.
The world's #1 selling tractor. Visit MahindraUSA.com.
Aren't you Kristen Press?
That's me. Great to see you off the soccer field.
What's that sunscreen?
It's Coppertone Clearly Sheer. Lightweight, breathable protection. Your skin looks amazing, not greasy. Try it.
Heads up.
Show off. I heard that.
Coppertone Clearly Sheer.
Brought to you by Coppertone Sunscreen.
At the Barrett-Jackson Auto Auction, cars like these can go for a cool million easy. How? It starts with the details, and nobody does details like new Barrett-Jackson Premium Auto Care. Liquid wax, formulated for a Barrett-Jackson quality finish with advanced polymer technology for unbeatable protection and a residue-free shine, making your car look like a cool million by the people who know cars that look like a cool million. Try new Barrett-Jackson Premium Liquid Car Wax. Available at Walmart.
Hey, pal. You ready? Can you pick me up at 6:30?
I'm here.
Too late.
I'll go for 5 minutes. Move it. Killing me. You know what, Dad? I'm good.
It may be quite a while before he's ready, but our Subaru Legacy will be waiting for him.
The longest-lasting midsize sedan in its class, the 2015 Subaru Legacy. It's not just a sedan, it's a Subaru.
1 can of Bush's beans. Home style sounds good, but country style not without its charms. Brown sugar hickory? Who says no to hickory? New sweet heat? Sure. There are no rules here.
Bush's Beans. What's your favorite flavor?
Devour food that's good for you. The same way you devour food that's not good for you.
Lowe's presents How to Plan for the Future.
Happy Valentine's Day. Happy birthday. Sorry I forgot our anniversary. Happy Mother's Day.
Select hanging baskets, now just 2 for $10 at Lowe's.
You see miracles all the time at our children's hospital. The first smile after surgery, a girl walking when they said she wouldn't, parents getting good news. But miracles never come easy. That's why, as great as children's hospitals are, they need our support to keep miracles happening. Put your money where the miracles are. Support your Children's Miracle Network Hospital.
Hey, America. Still not sure whether to stay or go to your people?
Should I stay or should I go?
Well, this summer, stay with Choice Hotels twice and get a $50 gift card you can use for just about anything.
Go.
You always have a choice. Book now at choicehotels.com.
Everyone, remain calm.
Rated PG-13.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under partly cloudy skies. tonight. Partly cloudy skies. Low 74. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, scattered thunderstorms in the morning, then partly cloudy in the afternoon. High 85. Chance of rain 40%. Friday night, a few clouds from time to time. Low 75. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Fat Guys in the Woods, new season June 7th on the Weather Channel.
La Mesa, Texas, you saw this tornado spin up this afternoon. You can see it there kicking up some of the dust and dirt. Mark Hughes recording it, and you can see it flying around. We've got the threat for more severe weather tonight with tornadoes possible.
Yeah, that's not it, though. Areas already saturated by days and days of rain have a serious flood threat that they still need to deal with. Take a look at the rain that pounded Lubbock earlier today. And we're covering it all for you tonight in an extended coverage here on the Weather Channel. 23 people have been killed by storms and flooding in Texas and Oklahoma just since the weekend. Others still missing, Alex.
Southwest of Houston, the mayor of Wharton, Texas, has issued a voluntary evacuation as the flooding threat intensifies in some areas. Already, mud lines the tile in many homes, a sign that floodwaters already made it inside and has caused costly damage. This is the 4th time this area has actually flooded since 1998. The mayor hoping people will grab whatever they can and leave before it's all too late. We're going to talk more about the rain that's still to come in just a few minutes. First, though, severe weather update now from the lab. We want to head to storm specialist Mike Bettis. Mike.
Hey, thanks, Alex. So we've got a few storms out there that we're following, especially across Texas and through the plains. And we've got a couple of severe thunderstorm watches out there. But man, have we really ramped up the severe weather here in the month of May. If you go back and look at the stats from January through April, we were really running a huge deficit for tornadoes in particular. Not that we were complaining, but then May changed everything. And so far this May, 274 tornadoes over 15 different states, and really the bullseye has been on Kansas, Oklahoma, as well as Texas, with huge numbers as far as tornadoes go. But as far north as Minnesota, we had 9 tornadoes in the month of May. We have a couple of severe thunderstorm watches out there. Dallas, Fort Worth, you're included in one, and then our newest watch is down here across southern Texas. So this watch goes until 11 o'clock. That does include the Dallas, Fort Worth metro area and up toward Oklahoma City as well. Big squall linings coming through right now. It's loaded with lightning, by the way. Several severe thunderstorm warnings as well as flash flood warnings. Those flash flood warnings are almost automatic anymore when there are storms out there because our ground is so saturated right now. Our flash flood guidance is very low, meaning it doesn't take a lot of rain because of the amount of rain we've had so far in the month of May. For just about every city here in the Red River Valley, it's been a record-setting May. All right, St. Angelo, including Concho, Schuyler, and Tom Green counties, severe thunderstorm warning. That's until 8:45 local time. Look at that line of storms that's come past Abilene, but we still have a flash flood warning here, Callahan, Nolan, and Taylor counties. And how about this strong squall line now getting closer and closer to Dallas, Fort Worth? That'll produce some very heavy rain, but the good news is it looks like it is starting to weaken just a little bit here. I'm going to show you this in 3 dimensions, and I think this gives you a really good image of what this is doing. Notice how those storms were relatively tall. They've really come down in height. They're starting to get a little bit more sporadic, so I'm not overly concerned that we're going to have a big issue in Fort Worth like we have the past couple of nights, especially last night with the flash flood warnings. From Denton up toward Ardmore, severe thunderstorm warnings here, including Cook, Denton, and Montague counties. Larger hail and winds will be an issue for us there. And then up around Dodge City to Hayes, we have some heavier rain. The big area of thunderstorms here from, say, South Dakota up toward Fergus Falls, then up around International Falls. A couple of flash flood warnings in there, but no longer any severe thunderstorm warnings. Most of the action is going to end up being in Texas and in Oklahoma and Kansas tonight as far as the strongest storms go. The area highlighted in red where we're likely to see severe weather tomorrow from Dallas and Lubbock all the way towards Chicago and Detroit. Then the larger area in orange will have pop-up storms as well from the deep south, the Gulf Coast, all the way to the Great Lakes. That'll include places like Buffalo, New York. So heads up, it looks like this last weekend of May, guys, is going out with a bang here in many, many places.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bettis. Joining us now on the phone is Michael Merritt, Emergency Management Director for Comanche County, Oklahoma. And Michael, we understand there are water rescues still underway in the town of Lawton. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, sir. We've had several people. Of course, it kind of hit us during the rush hour when people were trying to go home, and we had lots of local flooding, up to 3 and 4 feet deep. It kind of taxed the fire department, and we've ended up calling out Public Works to assist with loaders and some big trucks to get these people out.
Now, Michael, how would you estimate how many actual rescues were taking place?
I'm going to say, and there was places where we had 3 and 4 cars in the same spot with people sitting on top of them, but you're probably dealing with probably 30 to 40 calls going on at the same time.
And Michael, speaking bluntly here, how many of these rescues occurred because people drove through roadways that maybe they shouldn't and turned around on?
Almost every one of these were dealing with people that drove into the water when they should have turned around and gone back the other way.
Wow, this just goes to show you, as we say it and preach it over and over and over, preaching to the choir, but turn around, don't drown. Now, Michael, are the actual vehicles that are the emergency vehicles trying to get to these cars, are they able to get to them to rescue them?
We had some that was that we could not get to, and we had to kind of wait until the water receded a little bit. We had 3 and 4 feet deep of water, where the fire trucks couldn't even really get down in there because they would have sucked up the water in their intake and not been able to get to it. Plus, the current was flowing fast enough that it was actually wanting to move stuff around. We were just lucky that we didn't have anybody get washed away and have to go after them that way.
All right, thank you very much. That is Michael Merritt there. And as he pointed out, and I led the witness, if you will, but a lot of these water rescues occur because people drive into the water when they shouldn't.
Yeah,
Seems so simple.
It's tough. You think you can make it, you don't think it's moving very fast, you don't think your car's going to get stuck, and then you end up having to get rescued.
I get it. You want to get where you're going, but you got to be careful with that. Let's talk about the forecast going forward, because we're going to start with the now in the next couple of days, but we do have some hope at the end of this whole tunnel, and that is always a good thing.
Yes, but right now we still have that rain stretching pretty much from southern Oklahoma and down through Texas. All along that line, we were watching it here, a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings. Seeing it now as it's approaching Dallas, the Fort Worth Metroplex, maybe trying to weaken just a tad.
Yeah, it's definitely petering out. You can tell on this radar, and Bettis just showed a good 3D one that shows the tops of these storms coming down, so that means that they are weakening. So that is good news, at least for tonight. But we still have all these flash flood watches. These were started in a lot of places on Sunday and Monday because the ground was too saturated, and they're going to be here until we dry out again.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we're talking through the rest of the week into the weekend here for us, up and down that 35 corridor, having to deal with this again. You've had so much rain, the ground just can't take anymore, so anything in addition leads to some of the scenes like we're seeing there in Lawton.
Right, they have something called flash flood guidance, which is the amount of rain necessary just to create flooding, and it gets really small, much lower when your ground is saturated like that. We've had kind of the same pattern. We have moisture. There's always moisture in the Gulf of Mexico, right? It's always available, so it's just been these little systems coming through, kicking off these showers and storms.
But we may be looking at a bit of a pattern change out there where that trough that's been in place in the west sort of lifts a bit, and now we start to build a bit of a ridge across the southwest and the southern plains into Texas, and that's going to mean a better time in terms of not getting these disturbances and also having to deal with the rain.
It's going to dry a little bit. You know, I was just thinking, though, when was the last time we saw a ridge in the middle part of the country? You think all winter, it was trough in the east and then ridge in the west, and then we flipped it for a while, but it's been rare that we've actually had a ridge in the middle part of the country. So they got the rain they needed. Don't forget, they were in a drought previously. Unfortunately, dramatic way to get the rain, but most people I've talked to out there, they say that's how they break droughts.
Yeah, it's the only way to happen, right? I'm sure the folks in California would be liking to get a little bit of what's happening there in Texas.
So Oklahoma City, you can see that pattern changing, and not only do we dry out, it's real nice.
Beautiful. Look at the weekend. Perfect temperature, I think. 76 degrees. That's on Sunday for you.
Not to be too precise, but yeah, and it looks like it stays dry for a while, and some of that rain moves across parts of the southeast, so they'll be drying out in Oklahoma City. That is good news. Austin, Texas. I hear great things about Austin, by the way. You know, I've never been there, but people say it's rad.
Yeah, it's on the list to go to. Yeah, I got to check it out.
The bucket list?
It's on the bucket list, yes. And it looks pretty good, at least early next week. Things do warm up, but it will be dry.
Full bucket list coming up from Alex Wallace. Also, from too much water to a dose of snow.
Yeah, we're not talking about looking at old video here. These flakes, they actually flew today. We'll tell you where after the break.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 75, winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy, chance of a thunderstorm, high 84, chance of rain 30%. Friday night, late night thunderstorms, low 75, chance of rain 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Nice job, guys. And don't worry, this beauty will last and last because I'm the only paint primer in one with Easy Wash formula, which you may find pretty handy someday.
Olympic One paint with exclusive Easy Wash formula stands up to 1,500 scrubs. Olympic, simply done. Exclusively at Lowe's. Stop by Lowe's and save $5 per gallon on Olympic's best paints and stains. Just another way Olympic makes it easy every step of the way.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tires she's riding on will. With the revolutionary Michelin Premier Tire, even as it wears down over time, its safety doesn't, thanks to Evergrip technology. The Michelin Premier Tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
Low prices every day. It's not just about having more savings. It's about having more fun. Great get-togethers start with low prices you can trust every day.
So you ready for the night? And don't it feel nice to lose your mind? Get ready for the wildlife.
Bud Light Live in a brand new bottle. Summer on.
If you're an adult with type 2 diabetes and your A1C is not at goal with certain diabetes pills or daily insulin, your doctor may be talking about adding medication to help lower your A1C. Ask your doctor if adding once-a-week Tanzium is right for you. Once-a-week Tanzium is an injectable prescription medicine that may improve blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes, along with diet and exercise. Once-a-week Tanzium works by helping your body release its own natural insulin when it's needed. Tanzium is not recommended as the first medicine to treat diabetes or in people with severe stomach or intestinal problems. Tanzium is not insulin. It is not used to treat type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis and has not been studied with mealtime insulin. Do not take Tanzium if you or your family have a history of medullary thyroid cancer or multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you're allergic to Tanzium or any of its ingredients. Stop using Tanzium and call your doctor right away if you experience symptoms of a serious allergic reaction, which may include itching, rash, or difficulty breathing. If you have signs of pancreatitis, such as severe stomach pain that will not go away and may move to your back, with or without vomiting. Or if you have symptoms of thyroid cancer, which include a lump or swelling in your neck, hoarseness, trouble swallowing, or shortness of breath. Before using Tanzium, talk to your doctor about your medical conditions, all medicines you're taking, if you're nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant, and about low blood sugar and how to manage it. Taking Tanzium with a sulfonylurea or insulin increases your risk for low blood sugar. Common side effects with Tanzium include diarrhea, nausea, injection site reactions, cough, back pain, and cold or flu symptoms. Some serious side effects can lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney failure. Ask your doctor if adding once-a-week Tanzium is right for you. Go to Tanzium.com to learn if you may be eligible to receive Tanzium free for 12 months. Make every week a Tanzium week.
Sometimes the best way to see the full extent of weather events' aftermath is to look at it from above. The Oklahoma National Guard flew over the feet of water, still where it doesn't belong today. And of course, you can see some homes submerged. And on the ground, though, it can be a much different story.
And now that the water is receding, the recovery process, well, that's underway for some. And with 9 people still missing, the hope that survivors will be found, well, that's echoing through communities. Here's NBC's Jay Gray.
Hey there, good evening. Sunny and bright right now, but there has been more rain here today. At times it was pretty heavy, making it even more difficult, if that's possible, for the search and recovery teams working through debris like you see all around us here. It stretches for miles along the Blanco River on a day when the families of all those they're searching for talked about their resolve to make sure their loved ones are found. Panic as a wall of water burst through the door of a home along the Blanco River. This home video shows the horror. While today the words of family members of the missing share the heartache.
It's impossible to express in words the tremendous loss, pain, and fear we are feeling.
Still, working alongside rescue and recovery teams on the ground, they refuse to give in.
We are 100% committed to finding Laura, Andrew, Leighton, Randy, Will, Ralph, and Sue.
The search is over for the Ramirez family.
God had his arms around her and brought her to glory.
18-year-old Alyssa Ramirez was laid to rest yesterday. A homecoming queen, star athlete, and student council president. Alyssa was driving home from prom last weekend when she called her dad as her car was being swept away in the floodwaters.
It was a horrible conversation. It's a conversation I'll never forget.
The emotions, like so much here, are raw. Battered communities pulling together where they can, while in other places like Wharton, southwest of Houston, families are pulling out, moving to higher ground. Voluntary evacuations in place with the growing threat of more rain and flash flooding here. And unfortunately, as you guys have discussed, the chance for rain and more severe weather in many areas across Texas will continue through this weekend. That is the latest here in Wimberley, Texas. I'm Jay Gray. Back to you.
Well, from flooding, we head to snow. Yes, snowing in the higher elevation near Aspen, Colorado. Now, no blizzard conditions in ski country, but Gunnison County, just south of Aspen, they're reporting about a half an inch within the last 24 hours. So, yeah, still dealing with some of those flakes flying around. Well, as we head through the next few days, not a whole lot in the way of snow showing up on the map, but what we are going to be watching and concerned with is the threat for strong and severe storms right through the heartland and even now starting to spread a little bit farther east into portions of the western Great Lakes. So we still have another couple of days to deal with that threat for rain showers and storms. And again, severe threat, flood threat will be in place as well. Well, finally, they'll start to see some movement. Well, notice by Saturday now, good chunk of the plains drying out. We don't see much rain here until you get into southern portions of Oklahoma and then still into Texas dealing with it. And then we spread the rain across the Ohio River Valley into the interior northeast. Heating up out ahead of that rain there in the northeast. We're talking 80s. Boston down towards New York City. Upper 80s down around Miami. Well, you'll see some of those showers and storms try to fire up, particularly during the afternoon. Sunday, that keeps going. But we also now see our system and our front hit the East Coast. So a better chance of dealing with some storms for the end of the weekend there for you in and around Philadelphia. All right, Monday, heading back to work now. The front pretty much should be now south of the Boston area. So at this point, a much cooler air mass does settle on in. You can see a high now of only 57 degrees, but we're still warm and muggy and unsettled in the deep south. We got more showers and storms. Notice here, it's a much quieter picture here in the middle of the country. Chances for rain showers and storms very minimal. It's mainly East Texas dealing with that into the deep south. And we also have some showers in the Pacific Northwest here for your Tuesday. Wednesday midweek, Ohio Valley and south. That's our best bet for some rain. And then back now into the northern plains, we start to see that chance for rain showers and storms starts to get going again on Thursday for us. Same areas. Northern and central plains, Ohio Valley, and the deep south, while the northeast enjoys some pretty decent conditions, mid-70s and dry. Keith?
Perfect. All right. Thanks, Alex. We continue to track some potentially severe weather traveling across the plains and Midwest. When we return, we'll nail down the timing and the greatest flash flood risk.
It starts with a subtle wave, then builds into soft fingers, lifting sails and spirits. Nothing makes us feel more alive than a summer breeze. Drifting with us on the water, chasing us through the trees, and playing along the whole day. In the Great Lakes Bay region, the summer breeze is blowing. Where it's headed is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Time to sweat, boys. Big time. Let's get this thing right. This is my one shot.
Sometimes it takes a little kick in the rear end.
We got it, baby.
To get you going. I have made fire!
Fat Guys in the Woods. The new season starts June 7th, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 75, winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy, chance of a thunderstorm. High 84, chance of rain 30%. Friday night, late night thunderstorms. Low 75, chance of rain 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
There are nearly 4 million miles of road in this country. They lead us home and away to places we love and places that need our love.
Houses are literally obliterated.
That's where you'll find RAM and the First Response Team of America, helping storm survivors.
We've got a lot of equipment in town.
And restoring hope.
Thank you!
Follow the team's journey all this year on the Weather Channel and weather.com. RAM and the First Response Team of America, dedicated to the road to recovery.
Conceal cracks and splinters with the ultimate do-over for wood and concrete. Don't replace, resurface. Behr Premium Deckover, exclusively at the Home Depot.
Need new tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you get 3 Falcon, Cooper, or Hankook tires, you get the 4th tire free instantly. Plus, get no interest and paid in full within 12 months on your Pep Boys credit card. Trust the boys to get you there.
Make the cash call and ask for the do-over refi. If you refinanced your mortgage in the last 18 months, like today's 2.875% rate and APR with no closing costs, just call 855-890.
Xfinity sales professionals are always on the go, meeting new people every day. They're helping families get the latest Xfinity products and services. And they're making customers happy. Jumpstart your career with the best sales training in the industry. Great benefits like discounts on your own Xfinity services and the potential for high earnings. Have what it takes? Apply today and see what doors open for you.
At the Watershed, we believe in recovery.
We believe that every alcoholic and addict deserves the opportunity to be healed. Our team of addiction professionals will address the underlying causes of your addiction while treating you with dignity and respect. We've helped thousands of patients recover from this seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. Addicts can recover. Addicts do recover. No matter how hopeless the situation seems, the time to get help is now. Call the Watershed today.
Fat Guys in the Woods, new season June 7th on the Weather Channel.
I think we're getting baseball size. They're pretty big and loud.
Yep, pretty big and loud. That is certainly the case. Impressive hail coming down into southwestern Nebraska today. A sight you do not want to be having to see, or be in at least, standing around out there getting hit by those stones. They were pretty big. All right, well, we want to get an update on what's going on with some of these storms that are occurring right now. We take it to the lab with storm specialist Mike Bettis.
Thank you very much, Alex. All right, we've got a lot of storms going on this evening. We'll get to those in just a moment. Did you go back to Tuesday and see this storm caught on security cam in Beaver Creek, Ohio? How crazy is this? There's the tornado right there, perfectly framed, coming through the Kmart parking lot, hits the roof of a Waffle House, hits a workout facility, a Mexican restaurant, and then goes off into a neighborhood. All the while, everyone driving down here completely unaware. This ended up being rated an EF1 tornado with 105-mile-an-hour winds, short path length, only half a mile long, and about 70 yards wide, but it did do some damage and injured 2 people. Let me show you some brand new video we just got, though, a different view of this. And I want you to focus down here on the cars, okay? A camera, security cam, shakes all around, trees, debris get flown, then watch down here. Boom! Check that out! That there, folks, is a rooftop air conditioner. Ripped off the roof and then thrown on top of the cars here. There it goes. Wow, dents out the roof of that car pretty badly too. That's a 500-600 pound air conditioner. One more time. Let's watch that one more time. Just shows you the power of a tornado. Wow. Holy cow. So crazy stuff. EF1 tornado, that's what it'll do. All right, severe thunderstorms are a possibility again across the Texas tonight. I don't think we've got a big chance for tornadoes any longer. A lot of the storms are now starting to squall out, meaning it's a line of storms, and generally you need some individual storms, some individual supercells to give you a likelier chance for tornadoes. Not happening likely for us tonight, but severe thunderstorm watch from, say, Oklahoma City back down through Dallas, Fort Worth. That goes until 11 o'clock this evening. We'll see some heavy rain with these storms, quarter-size hail. I think the bigger threat ends up being gusty winds. There's a look at the squall line. Look at all the lightning embedded within that. So we know that we've got, in some spots here, some pretty tall thunderstorms, meaning we've got some ice up at the top of the storms. And generally what that's going to do is cause a separation in charges from the top of the storm down here at the surface where we all live, and where you have that separation of charges. Something has to happen in the middle, and it lets off an electrical spark, and you get lightning. So we're watching these storms pretty closely. Take you down towards St. Angelo. Flash flooding is going to be a problem for us here. We've got warnings now, Coke, Arion, and Tom Green counties. That flash flood warning until 10:30 this evening. More flash flood warnings headed up toward the Abilene area, Callahan, Nolan, and Taylor counties, all under flash flood warnings this evening. Those go until 10 o'clock this evening. Then watching this squall line pretty closely here. That right there may eventually get into Fort Worth and Dallas. So we had big issues yesterday in Fort Worth, in Tarrant County, where we had our flash flood warnings. We're going to look for some of these storms back here to potentially come in and bring us some heavier rain. But if you look at this three-dimensionally, it tells you a little bit different story, okay? Look at how tall these thunderstorms were at one point, and now they're really losing their energy. We're getting smaller and smaller storms. That means they'll produce less and less rain, which is a fantastic thing for us here in Tarrant County after what we've been through lately. So I think a lot of you can breathe a sigh of relief tonight. And those storms are moving, by the way, going about 20 miles an hour. Yesterday, they were just popping up right on top of us and going nowhere. Cook County, by the way, near Ardmore, Oklahoma, we have a severe thunderstorm warning here. Likely wind is going to be an issue for you. And then Carter, Jefferson, and Murray counties under severe thunderstorm warnings. Run-of-the-mill thunderstorms here, Dodge City up towards Hayes. Some heavier rain right along I-70. Then those storms extend from the Black Hills all the way up to Canada. So big, wide reach of storms this evening, gentlemen. It looks like, though, gradually heading into the weekend, things do begin to calm down for us and our severe weather threat begins to diminish.
All right, that is good news. Thank you, Mr. Bettis. If you're in the Midwest, a little cool down coming your way. Beautiful shot of St. Louis right there, Chicago, and Minneapolis. 10 to 20 degrees below normal coming your way, though. Let's start with where we are right now. It's nice. 71 in Chicago, 69 in Des Moines, and 74 in Indy. Dew point's pretty good in the 50s. Usually the 60s is considered a little bit humid, so it's pretty cool across parts of the Midwest. But eventually we're going to get a cold front cutting through. Look, this happens in May. We're not really in summer yet. It happens in summer, actually, in the Midwest. You get a strong enough cold front come down from Canada and bring you some cooler air, 10 to 20 degrees below average. I think that the word chilly is probably a little aggressive. I mean, we're going to be in the 60s and 70s, 70 in Minneapolis. International Falls, all right, they're a little chilly at 56, and then 65 in Minneapolis on Saturday. We'll be right back.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 75, winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy, chance of a thunderstorm, high 84, chance of rain 30%. Friday night, late night thunderstorms, low 75, chance of rain 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, right now on the Weather Channel, incredible video recorded by a woman stranded in her Wimberley, Texas home. It captures the frantic moments the Blanco River blasted through a door and inundated the home in a matter of seconds. We're going to hear from the woman that lived through this terrifying event, keeping the camera rolling the whole time.
All right, thanks for joining us. We're in extended coverage until midnight Eastern. If it's past your bedtime, too bad. Stay up. I'm Keith Carson.
And I'm Alex Walls. Now, we've got the flood threat to talk about, plus more severe storms that could produce tornadoes. And this is all in the same state. They can't get a break. Still recovering from Monday's disastrous, deadly flooding.
I just want the nightmares to end. I can't sleep at night. I close my eyes and all I see is just the water taking us.
Heavy emotions over the relentless rain here in San Marcos, Texas. That area has seen about 12 inches of rain since the start of May. That's about double what they got in April. Well, let's update the very latest on the deadly storms that struck Oklahoma as well as Texas. The death toll now stands at 23 lives lost in those two states. 9 people are still missing. And overnight, the body of a child was found near the banks of the Blanco River. He has not yet been identified. Keith?
All right, thanks, Alex. We'll talk more about the potential for increased flooding in just a few minutes. First, we want to get an update on the severe weather that's still ongoing. For that, let's go to the lab and the man who's creepily over my right shoulder, Mike Bettis. What's going on, Mike?
It's not creeping if you see me. Hey, what's going on, Keith? Hey, we've got some severe storms out there, some issues with some hail, likely some high winds with a lot of these storms across the plains, and a lot of rain, too. It's pretty much the last thing we need is rain. We just need to cut it off. But the good news is that a lot of these places have now gone out of drought, so that's good. A lot of tornadoes so far this month. If you haven't noticed, you've been paying attention to the Weather Channel at any point this year, you know that we had very few tornadoes leading up to May. Every single month was below average: January, February, March, and April. And then May just took off. It climatologically is our most active month, but look at all these tornadoes. 274 in total across 15 different states, and most of the tornadoes occurred across Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. Texas, right in the heart there of Tornado Alley. You can see again this evening, that's pretty much where the focus is of the storms, right through the heart of the country. Texas in particular has some of the strongest storms this evening with multiple severe thunderstorm warnings and flash flood warnings. Flash flood warning around St. Angelo here, Bollinger, Grape Creek, St. Angelo. Your flash flood warning goes until 10:30 this evening. Head up toward Abilene. We also have a flash flood warning here, Callahan, Nolan, and Taylor counties with the heavy rain and a big slug of moisture back to your west as well. This squall line, by the way, is getting a little bit weaker. That's a good thing, but getting closer and closer toward the Fort Worth area. I'm going to change this a little bit to a three-dimensional radar to show you how tall these storms are, and we'll put the timing on it as well. We'll look to a place, say, like Fort Worth. It looks like the storms will be there around 9:50 local time, if not maybe a little bit before that. And Arlington looks like the storms will be there about 10:28. We're in the 7th inning of the Rangers game right now. I think we get the game in no problem before these storms get there, so no fear that the game's going to be rained out unless it goes extra innings. All right, here's a look at the storms again. At one point, they were pretty tall. Now they've shrunk in size. It means they're going to hold less moisture. It means they're not going to be as potent, and they're moving east 15-20 miles an hour, so they're moving as opposed to a lot of our recent storms would have just popped up over Fort Worth and Tarrant County and just rained out. Instead of actually moving, they just had to rain themselves out instead of push their way west to east. Farther northbound here around Cook County, this includes Gainesville, Lindsay, and Munster. We have a severe thunderstorm warning. This is basically right along I-35. If your travels are taking you here, I would hold off until these storms pass and then go. Blinding rain at the very least here, but I think there's going to be some embedded hail as well. Carter, Garvin, and Murray County severe thunderstorm warnings, and that will include the Ardmore area. Hays, Kansas, we have some heavy rain over town right now, but it's a good place to stop and pull over. They got a lot of good restaurants there and a good place to fill up on I-70 there in western Kansas. And notice here that we've got some pretty good storms from, say, near Pierre. We haven't had storms yet in Pierre. They've kind of been all around us, headed up toward Fargo, Fergus Falls, and International Falls. Now, the forecast for tomorrow does bring more storms back into the forecast, including the Southern Plains, Dallas, Fort Worth. Here we go again, then all the way up into the Midwest. So if you live in, say, Des Moines, the Quad Cities, over towards Chicago, Milwaukee, or Detroit, these are areas that will watch for some stronger storms tomorrow that could contain large hail and damaging winds. And then a lot of thunderstorms in orange that probably won't meet severe criteria, but you'll have rain. That could extend all the way from the Finger Lakes of New York all the way down through the Gulf Coast, and more rain to go. This is the forecast through Sunday. Some of the heaviest rain is going to fall, end up being right in the places where we've already had flooding and record-setting rain, another 1 to 2 inches, maybe in some isolated spots 2 to 3. So, gentlemen, things will be getting better as we go through the weekend. Not nearly as much severe weather, but it still looks like rain is still one of the bigger issues we'll follow the next couple of days.
All right, thank you, Mike. Let's take it